Hi, Milee. First of all,
Hi.
welcome to the Facebook Live at Booknerds, and of course, we'll be talking about publishing and kind of decoding it. I don't know if we can do that in 20-30 minutes, but we'll try. So, for everyone
Yeah.
else, everybody who's watching, if you are not living under a rock, you would know about Milee. But I'll introduce her nonetheless. She's working as publisher at Ebury Publishing and Vintage Publishing, Penguin Random House India, and all those wonderful books you put your hands on at bookstores, buy them off Amazon, see them at cafes. Most of them are produced by Milee.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be here today on the Saturday afternoon, talking to the book nerds. And, this is what we do. We are from the world of books, and whatever little I can do to connect with more people from our, universe and connect with people and talk to all of you, I really appreciate. I'm here for you. So I'll be happy to answer all your questions. You can also share your questions, I think, in your chat box. But
Yeah, yes, why not? Why not?
we
I,
start, I think, by just telling a little bit about myself. I think, you being very kind. I have been in publishing now for, almost 15 years. And it's been a fascinating journey because this is a creative industry, and I think all of us at the end of the day want to come back home and feel happy about what we have created or what we have achieved or help others achieve. So I think this is one of those professions. I've been lucky. I've got great bosses and great platforms, companies to support me and my ideas. So it's been a fantastic journey. I've met wonderful people, authors, people like you along the way. And I think there's so much more to do, so the hunger to do more and keep on going, I think, is still there, thankfully.
yeah.
And here I am talking to all of you.
I really wanted to ask you, since you talked about bosses. Okay, I'm not so sure if there is a word like that in Penguin, at least, because I've been interacting with the team. I mean, and our team has been interacting with your team.
Yeah.
They've got such a dynamic culture, and they are so like, they want to do stuff. It's just, I'm not saying it because you are sitting here. It's just what we feel. uh,
Yeah.
is that a deliberate effort to always be on the lookout for something new, do things innovatively, and more behave more like a startup within such a big conglomerate?
Well, that's exactly what I meant when I said that, I have good bosses. I've had good bosses, and that means that, everybody in Penguin, not only me, has the freedom to share their ideas and, brainstorm and come up with things. So there is a lot of energy in the team. We have a lot of young people also in the team. You've seen how, the digital world has transformed, even with publishing in the pandemic, and so much of what we do is on the digital mediums, whether it is selling books or promoting our books, doing events, online events like we're doing today.
Yeah.
So the team is young, dynamic, extremely bright, creative, and I think anybody who has a good idea has an opportunity to take that forward at Penguin. So I feel very lucky to be part of our organization, Penguin Random House India.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think it's quite interesting, because everybody might things or says that, oh, it's such a big company, and how do you manage to have that interpersonal relationship and the in the soft touch with books. But I think what we manage to do is to have smaller project teams
Okay.
on every book. So while you are being published by a big publishing house, you deal with a team that you work with, which consists of like 5 6 people from different departments. So you get that whole cozy feeling of being part of a close knit unit. And I think that is what we try to achieve with our books, and try to give our author the experience of being part of a bigger organization and a bigger brand name and company, but also having this personal and really like sort of well thought out approach with books.
I have a quiz planned out for you, but we'll come to that later. It's a fun thing, very short thing.
Sure.
But I read somewhere online that you stumbled into this because it
Yeah.
wasn't planned as such. First things first, how did that happen? Because some of our viewers might not know that.
Yeah.
And we meet so many people, they don't have any idea how to pursue this, because they really love books, they are writing, or they are blogging, they are doing so much. But the structure that is around perhaps so many other streams, like engineering, or you name it,
Yeah.
it's perhaps it's not there exactly, or people are not aware about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Publishing is an industry where you don't have very structured courses. So no, so you don't have like, multiple courses to choose from in different universities, and something that can make you an editor,
Okay.
after a
Yeah.
couple of years. This is something that you do learn a lot on the job.
Okay.
So, like you mentioned, I did, get into publishing by an accident. I did not have any plans to be an editor. I was, unlike maybe you and a lot of other, smart young people, confused. I didn't know what to do after my master's, and I was still like, I was toying with the idea of advertising or journalism. And then one of my friends had joined a publishing house,
Okay.
and he said, why don't you also try it? It's so much fun. This is what we do. You love books, and this is you create books here, so this is something that you might also like doing. And that's how I got my first job at Rupa. And I think I just tasted blood. I just loved it from the day one. And I had like, I think, so much energy then. I think similar energy today. I remember, our former MD at Random House, Michael Monahan, he used to call me an iceberg, because I am tiny, and Michael was, he's big, he's
Okay.
quite tall. And I used to keep running in the office, sometimes barefoot too. And he was
Wow.
like, she's like an iceberg, you have to be very careful of her.
Goodness.
so so it was also, I think, set of great people that you worked with. And a great team always manages to do good work.
Yeah.
So I was lucky with that. And for our youngsters and other people who want to get into publishing, I would say that if you have to love books, you have to have passion for the written word, and have ideas, have sort of lot of I think, not so much think about money, but like more about creativity and work, because you might not have the same kind of money in
True.
publishing like in
True.
other professions, but there is a lot of job satisfaction,
Right.
and there is a lot of creativity that you can show through your work.
I really wanted to ask you this question, because somebody asked me this question. I really wanted to ask you. Once somebody enters as an intern, does he or she get a chance to talk to you? Does that happen?
Yes, I think anybody who comes, not in the pandemic we are not working out of the office,
Of course.
but in a normal situation, everybody who comes to the company is introduced to each other.
Okay.
And we have inductions, and where we get to meet everybody. um, it's actually quite interesting, the question you've asked, because two of my best commissioning editors right now were interns in the company.
Wow. Wow.
So at one point, yes, they were interns years back, maybe like 9, 10 years back.
Okay.
And they were not leaving. They were working at
Oh
Penguin,
my
and they'd
gosh.
been
Oh my.
around for 6 months. The other one for 7 months, and I was looking for some other editors at that point, but I couldn't meet the right candidate.
My God.
And I just ended up hiring both of them, and they are the best, one of the best, editors, commissioning editors
Guys,
we
it
have in the
shows
company.
persistence. I mean, you have to kind of go overboard with it. I mean, it's not just that maybe 2 months or 3 months the internship, perhaps
Normally, it's a couple of months. It can be
couple of
1 month
months. Huh?
also, like
So,
1 month, 2 months. But they just loved it.
wow.
They, like I said, they were not leaving. They really enjoyed their work. And after 6, 7 months, they really had understood the culture
Right.
and a lot of our work processes.
Yeah.
And I felt that they were the right fit with the right attitude. So attitude is also very,
Wow.
very important for me,
Yeah.
because like I just mentioned, there are not too many structured courses for
Yes.
publishing. So I do look for the hunger, the energy, and
Right.
also the right kind of attitude, because in this industry you have to work very hard. There are no
True.
lean months.
Yeah.
You publish, a lot of books every month, practically maybe one, every day if I include
Yes.
all divisions. So there's a lot of work going on, and it is relentless. So you can get burnt out easily if you really don't, have your heart in the
Okay,
work.
so let's come to the very short quiz. It's just a fun thing. So what you have to do is just first of all tell us what is common among all these books, and any one anecdote if you remember, or I'll come to the question later on. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one is this one.
Yes.
I think it's pretty
Yeah. So it's a
straightforward.
new book, yeah, by Paulo
Yes.
Coelho.
Yes.
Masala
Okay.
Lab.
This is a fun one. I mean,
Yes.
I didn't even understand the genre, but I loved it.
I can't see that. Okay. Yes. Yes. Of course.
Okay. Okay. Then we have this one.
Yes. Suti Changle,
Then comes, of course,
Margaret Atwood.
yes. And we come to the last one, of course. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So first things first, what is common amongst all these books? My first question, and then we'll come to other stuff.
Well, they all are Penguin books. They all are bestsellers.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
there are two things at least common amongst all these
Yes.
books.
True.
And I'm very proud, to have all of those books as part of our company. And yeah, I think it's lovely to actually like see the range that also,
Yeah.
Penguin offers
Quite a range.
to us.
Quite a
So they're
range.
all very
And
different kinds of books,
yeah, my
very
follow-up
different
question
kinds of
was,
books. In
yeah,
fact, I want to share something about, Stuti Changle's book that we just recently published, toward the end of January, beginning of Feb. And that was a self-published book. And, it was selling so well. One of my editors, Roshni, she spotted it,
yeah,
online, and she managed to, commission the book, and for more, you signed her up for
yeah,
more books as well. So that is also something, that is very, very important these days, the power of the digital, and to be able
true,
to spot talent, spot good writers and good books.
yeah,
So you have to really be on, on your toes most of the time.
yeah.
But
So,
that's a great find. I
yeah,
think Suti is amazing,
oh
and I
yeah,
see her doing extremely well in years to come.
and I talked to her, and she was like the new age author. It's the same energy. I mean, it's just a second book, but the energy was like amazing, and the love for writing, of course, it
Yes.
was amazing. I wanted to ask you about a lot of authors keep on complaining that publishing houses don't respond. That is one common thing. I mean, it has become a cliche.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
but how are you guys mentoring authors also? Because I mean, it. I don't know if that's a part of your wider vision, but would you like to comment on that?
So, we have very clear submission guidelines
Yeah,
on our website, and anybody who wants to get published with Penguin should follow the submission guidelines, read it properly, and submit
yeah,
a good, strong proposal. I think that is really important. And you should have patience. I think in India, and particularly these days, people don't have patience. They want, they also want publishers to respond in a few days or a week, and it is not possible most of the times, because we remember we get like 30, 40 proposals every day. So there is a lot that we have to evaluate and sift through, besides our regular work, which is
yeah,
publishing the books that we've already acquired as well. So I think it does take a couple of months in most cases,
yeah,
and I think the team does respond. But like I said, people also have to be patient and reasonable, and give publishers a month or two to get back.
yeah. So my the other part of the question was that mentoring
Yes.
authors. I mean, maybe you guys know what's required, so that's why I'm asking this question.
Well, like I started by saying, I think the proposal is really important. It should be, I want to see the pain the author has taken to write the
Okay,
proposal.
okay,
I
okay.
think, and that is the beginning of the story.
True.
So if a proposal is half baked,
Yeah,
not very well written
yeah,
or thought out,
yeah,
it does make a bad impression. So I think the first thing is to, like, take the time out and write a good proposal. Make sure you have included all the required details, whether it's a synopsis, sample chapters, chapter breakdown, your bio,
Yeah.
your target readership, anything else that you want to
Right.
tell us about you or the work.
Yeah.
And all that really goes into making a good proposal. So
Okay.
please take that very seriously, because the first impressions do matter. It
True.
matters a lot. And secondly, I think don't try and be somebody else.
Yeah.
Try and write your own book.
Okay.
Don't try to write a book that somebody else has written, or the big author is writing, or you think that you can also copy or plagiarize some ideas from the West.
Yeah.
I don't think those things work. I think you have to be original and try your own thing and focus on your own strengths.
So,
I think that's
guys, don't plagiarize. And I'm going to ask a follow-up question. How do
important.
you check that? How do you check that? Do you have softwares?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
we do use software. We have a tool to check, plagiarism, check manuscripts for
Don't
plagiarism.
do it. Don't do it. I know you guys do it. So,
Yeah.
also, what about rejection? Um, or before that, I wanted to talk to you about the book influencers. Actually, there's so many book influencers now. There
Yeah,
and especially on Twitter and Instagram, it's going like ballistic.
yeah.
So how how do you plan on kind of using it to I mean to propagate the book, especially?
Um, so I think the biggest, I think, champion for a book is the author.
Okay.
To start with, the author and the book itself, like these two things are, we never should lose sight of the fact that what we are publishing is a book written by a certain person, the writer. So
Yeah.
that is the star and the star element in any campaign for us.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think there are opportunities and ways to promote books, whether it is through book reviews, traditional press, doing conversations, doing online events, using influencers.
Yeah.
And again, like with influencers, I think we have to see, people have to read. And if they, what we do tell people is that, if you like the book, then of course,
Right.
so it's not that, we also don't, it's always, I think, genuine feedback always is
Okay.
very, very strong, and you can tell
Yeah.
whether it is, somebody has read the book or not.
Yeah.
So I
True.
think those things are
Oh
important.
my gosh. Oh my god.
But I think this
I've been to
is
be
the
honest.
world of digital, so we do need
Yeah.
to use all the, sort of really weapons and means that, we have to spread the word around about the book.
Yeah. Have you ever figured out at a lit fest or perhaps in a live event that the person has not read the book? Has that happened to you?
All the time.
Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious.
All the time. I think you can tell very easily whether,
Wow.
even if for a book launch, if you are you're there for a book launch and somebody hasn't read the book, you can tell very easily. I think, editors are trained for that, I think.
Oh goodness. This Okay, let's talk about the books you have been genuinely surprised by. Perhaps within a couple of years, since 19 to 21.
Okay, some latest books that I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, perhaps you were surprised by, because there are some that you guys know, right?
Yeah.
You know that this project is going to succeed, but
Yeah.
then you again are surprised by the kind of response some books give you, and maybe those are the dark horses or something like that. Has that come up?
Yeah, I'll just talk about, first an author and, the books that he wrote, and it just came to my mind naturally. His name is Chandramouli Venkatesan.
Okay.
So he is a business author. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He just passed away a few months back. He was still very young, very, very bright,
Okay.
a top-notch CEO, a leader.
Okay.
And, we published his debut book called The Catalyst a few years back, which is a huge bestseller and it keeps on selling. Maybe it's sold more than 1 lakh copies now.
Yeah.
His second book was called Get Better at Getting Better,
Okay.
and it has also, it's a bestseller too.
Yeah.
Before he passed away, he wrote a third book for us, and we were going to publish it just around when he passed away, suddenly due to cancer. But Chandramouli was a fantastic human being. He was commissioned by Radhika, who's a business editor,
Okay.
and he inspired many, many people along the way. He was a new author, so when he,
Okay.
came to us with Catalyst, we thought it'll do okay, but We never imagined it would do like a lakh copies or become so popular.
Right.
And just to see him believe in the work and making others believe in the ideas in the book, I think changed the game.
Yeah.
So that was a really pleasant surprise and a great experience to see that happen in front of my eyes. I think for any publisher to create new brand authors is also very exciting, because
Right.
being a part of a big company, you have your existing brand authors who have been writing for some number of years, but to create new ones is always thrilling, it's very exciting, and is really enriching. So Chandramouli was fantastic guy, great author. I think he'll be missed by
Yeah.
anybody who's met him, and he's very, very popular in our office even
I'll
now.
definitely go and grab a copy because I was not aware about the book, especially the
Yeah,
author.
his
So
new book is coming out this year. It's called The Shift.
okay, okay,
So yes, so before he passed away, he planned everything, and he's done everything to make sure the book
wow,
comes out well
wow.
and properly. So great guy, and yes, you must read his book. I think that is a book that I recommend to all editors because it is about careers. Catalyst is how you can find your own catalyst and actually not get stuck after 8-10 years in your career, and how to like go to the next level in higher management and really like go to the top.
Yeah,
So it is an aspirational book. It is a business self-help book. It is a book about careers, and I think we all will. There's something for everybody in the book.
right.
So that is something I highly recommend. There's so many others that we've been surprised by. There's a book that we published some years back, not very recently, but it's called Everyday Ayurveda,
Okay,
and we bought it as a small book. So I think we thought maybe it'll sell 3-4 thousand copies, and the marketing campaign was also like I mean geared towards that. We didn't have like a huge budget, or like a really like a uh, sort of events across the country or so. But the book has been so popular. It's a huge bestseller and keeps on selling, and it just talks about and tells us through stories how to lead one day in your life
okay,
according to Ayurveda.
okay.
And it's a fantastic book.
I have to ask you about some anecdote from a celebrity author because we don't get these. And I, uh, anybody who comes to your mind, whom you like, didn't expect to write so well, and then they, of course, have written well and succeeded. Some
Yeah.
anecdote from any behind the scenes from that.
I think I would like to talk about Karan Johar's autobiography, A
Yeah,
Suitable
why not?
An Unsuitable Boy.
Yeah,
An Unsuitable Boy here,
I have a
because
copy actually. I don't know where it is, but yeah.
yeah, so that's one of the best autobiographies that I've read. And it's so candid and so honest that when the first draft came in, Poonam Saxena is the co-author of the book, and
Yes.
we were sitting together structuring the book and working on the book. I remember telling Poonam that wow, it gave us goosebumps because he was so honest. And I remember telling Karan that are you sure you want to have this in the book? Because he talked about everything, not only the good things, his relationship with his father, his father's death, how it affected him, his mental health. He talked about his fight with Kajol, a lot of intimate details. His at that point, his yearning for having a child.
Yeah.
So
He's
all of
fearless.
that is
He's
all of that
fearless,
is in
isn't
the
it?
book.
He's so fearless.
Yes, yes. So like normally, like people, even I think regular people are not so honest, and he being a celebrity,
No ways.
and
That is a lot of
I think
information.
it took a lot to be so candid in the book.
Yeah. So does he want to write again? Karan?
Well, I hope so he does another book with us, and I think it'll be as exciting as the previous one.
Yeah. Please tell us a little bit about the relationship between Penguin and Mr. Ruskin Bond because we are based out of Doon. We have to talk about him. I mean,
Okay. See, unfortunately, Ruskin Bond, I haven't worked very closely with him. I'm not his editor. So Primanko, who is, part of a commissioning team, is, the editor for Ruskin Bond and Sohini for the children's books,
okay.
that he does. But he's a fantastic. I think Ruskin Bond is somebody that, we all have grown up, reading. Whenever I meet him, he's always been very, very polite. He's always listening very carefully to people. I think that is something which is really important. I think we all are becoming very impatient, right?
True, true, true.
uh,
We don't,
by the year,
yeah, that
very
happens.
impatient, and we really don't
Yeah,
always listen to each other very well. So I think that is a unique quality that he has, and maybe that is how he's able to sort of remember things and gather
true.
um, all the interesting stories from the
Yeah.
people he meets.
I think we have a question for you. Shalini Malik asks, how has the pandemic affected traditional print publishing? Will it be more difficult to get published now, especially for new authors?
Well, we are publishing lots of books this year. So last year, we didn't publish as number of books that we do normally.
Right.
But this year our list is packed. It's full. We are bringing out like amazing books every month. We already have so many bestsellers. Whether it is, we just announced Sadhguru's new book Karma, which is at number one right now in all categories.
Right.
We published Durjoy Datta's new book. We published, Shiva Kumar's book, The Right
Yeah.
Choice, which is like the biggest business book I think this year.
True.
And lots of others. We published Vidhu Chopra's
Yes.
autobiography, with Abhijat Joshi Unscripted. So the year
That
has
just
already
came out.
started with a bang, and there are a lot of books that we're publishing. I don't think readers or writers need to worry about. We are buying also a lot of books for, subsequent years.
Yeah.
So don't lose heart.
Right.
Please keep on writing, and if your proposal is good, if your book is good, I'm sure it'll get published.
Yeah, a lot of books are now being, adapted into web series, and it's the whole
Yeah.
thing has blown up. So how do you see it going forward? And also to me, I don't know if are you worried that perhaps the content gets diluted a little bit?
No, I think it's a good thing. It is a win-win for a publisher. So, for example, when the Sacred Games was launched by Netflix, you
Right.
had hoardings across the country. I think anywhere you looked, you were
Yes.
driving, you would see something about Sacred Games.
Yeah.
And we did a tie-in cover for the book. It sold so many more copies.
Yeah,
So
love the cover. Love the cover. I've got it.
yeah, so that we did. Then there was Bard of Blood, which
Yes.
was again a very popular Netflix series. Since there's so many, I think it's a great opportunity for publishers to promote the books again,
Yeah.
and we look
What's
forward
coming
to
up
it.
in 2021 on that count? I mean, in that space.
So I think recently there was an announcement about a series called Ittifaq,
Okay.
uh, Iftikhar, which is based on a story from India's Most Fearless.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that also,
That's
I
Rahul
think,
Singh. That's Rahul Singh. And
yes, that is, Shiv and Rahul.
Shivaru. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Shiv Arur and Rahul Singh.
Yeah.
But there are so many, in Penguin. I think we are selling a lot of rights for a lot of our non-fiction, particularly, and these are all getting made into films. I'm sure you saw, Suitable Boy also being
True. True.
converted into,
Yeah.
a series recently, and I think there are many more to come.
Yeah. My final question. What do you think about the book club culture in India, and how does that go forward? Because I don't know, it's just my personal opinion that the more the book clubs, I mean, will flourish, so much.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel about that?
I think the more the merrier.
Yeah.
See, India as a country needs more readers.
Yeah.
So whether it's book clubs or the whole push from the government or
Yeah.
schools or parents that helps us achieve that, I think it's all welcome.
Yeah.
There should be more book clubs. People should read more, talk more about books,
Yeah.
and we should all develop like a culture for reading. I think that is
Yeah.
still lacking in several ways in the country, because for a country of more than 1 billion people, I don't think we read enough. And if you see the bestseller charts right now, also on Amazon or Nielsen, you'll see most of these books are academic books. So
True.
we read books when we have to for exams and so
I
on.
hate that. I hate
But what
that.
about
Thanks.
stories? What about stories and reading books on other subjects? So we do need to widen our horizon and explore more.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
really
glad you brought that up because I hate that. When I go to the Amazon page and I see all textbooks happening, it's just
but it
heartbreaking.
is there. That is the reality. So people are reading, but what are they reading? They are reading, a lot of the academic books
Mm.
that they are like sort of in a way have to read to
Yeah,
get a job
yeah,
or to ace a test.
yeah.
But what about reading for passion, for
True.
gaining knowledge
Yeah.
and to discover new writers and new worlds?
We'll close the session. I forgot totally. What's the next challenge for you? I mean, we didn't talk about you much, but what's the
No, we
next
did,
challenge
we
for
did.
you?
Well, I think I do want to be number one in whatever category I publish.
Okay.
So one of the challenges that I have taken up, for my list, which is Ebury Publishing and Vintage, is to have the best literary list as well. We
Okay.
already are number one in popular and business, but I think I do want to not only win hearts but win awards also with the literary fiction and non-fiction that we are publishing. And we have Elizabeth, who's leading the vintage list for our division, doing extremely well. She's bought some great books. So I hope you all read those
Of course.
and love the books and, come back to us with your
Yeah.
feedback.
Thank you so much for doing this. I have like a million more questions, but let's keep that for the next, perhaps Facebook live or interaction. Thank you for taking time out. You have Penguin has been supporting book nerds like anything. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, we are super stoked for this year and looking forward to the books coming out from Penguin. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. No, thank you so much. I think it's been fantastic talking to you. Keep supporting books, keep, reaching out to us. We're always here for anybody who loves books. And it's been a pleasure being on your show on this live. So thank you to you and all the viewers. You have a great Saturday evening. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.